Ever felt like a deer in the headlights staring at the supplement aisle? You aren't alone. We've all been there clutching a bottle of multivitamins while a well meaning relative asks you why you aren't downing 700 pounds of spirulina a day. It's easy to feel lost in a sea of natural cures and influencer backed powders. But what if your massive laundry list of vitamins is actually doing more harm than good? Let's pull back the curtain on the multi-billion-dollar supplement industry and dive into why your natural regimen might have hidden side effects and why food first isn't just a catchy phrase, it's a psychological necessity. Whether you're currently taking 20 pills a day or you're just looking for a quick win for your fatigue, this session will help clear the clutter and build a foundation that actually moves the needle.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm part of the Aware Nutrition team. When it comes to vitamins, when it comes to supplements, I get a little lost. I get in the aisle and my eyes glaze over. I don't know, man. I think I need a good multivitamin. That's always what I default to. But then I'll go over to a family member and they'll be like, "You're not taking beta carotene? What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I don't know, man. I don't know." So I absolutely need some help when it comes to vitamins and supplements.
Yeah. So I wanted to first add some context here. Like, I think your situation is a good example. Even the person who maybe is saying, "Oh my gosh, you're not taking this," something I see a lot, like people don't know why they're taking something and they also don't know how to measure it's actually helping them. And so a lot of times I'll see people that'll come to work with me and I'll be like, "What supplements are you taking?" And it's just this huge laundry list of things. And there isn't a diagnosed deficiency. There's no real medical reason as to why you're taking those supplements. That's kind of the overall pattern that I see a lot of the times. So I wanted to spend time talking about how to know if you should be taking a supplement and then the supplements that I recommend on a pretty consistent basis that I hope would be safe for most people.
I love it. I love it. So let's start there. Like, how do I know I should be taking a supplement? I guess.
Yeah. So, like I said earlier, diagnosed deficiency, right? Like you had blood work done. Let's say you have vitamin D deficiency, you have iron deficiency. Those might be a case where we always want to address things with diet first. That's what I always tell people. It's like food first. And then if we can't fill in the gaps with only food, then we add in a supplement, right? So if you have a diagnosed deficiency, vitamin D is a good example because that's one that is a little bit harder to fix with food that most people will need a supplement for. Iron is okay. We tried food first. And if that doesn't do it, then we start to supplement. Or if there's some reason that maybe getting in iron-rich foods is harder for someone, say someone who's like a vegan, vegetarian, for example. Maybe you have a specific health condition that increases your needs for certain supplements or vitamins, minerals. Your doctor or dietitian recommends it. Hopefully you're having these conversations with the people in your life. And so those are like the kind of the overarching recommendations I would say to like knowing if you need them.
Okay. So now I've been diagnosed and I have a vitamin D deficiency and I'm trying to handle it with nutrition and in doctor's care. We're going down the path. It's turned into, you know what, this lack is significant or there's something going on where a supplement would be a good way to go. Like not being like, "Hey, I suggest this brand," but do you have experience with that type of stuff or where do we go from there? Because it's another one of those things where you get in the aisle and it's, man, I don't know. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Everybody should talk to their doctor or dietitian if you have one before starting any kind of supplement because like I said earlier, you may not need one. Most of the time you probably won't need one. Vitamin D I use as an example because most people are deficient, but I have a problem that vitamin D is sold over the counter because it is a fat soluble vitamin and it has a toxicity level. So you can take too much of it and lead yourself into the hospital, right? And so that's why having conversations with your medical team is important, right? So you can get clarity because depending on the severity of your deficiency is going to impact like the dosage of the supplement that you need. And that's going to be impossible to decipher on your own, just going to the grocery store and looking at the aisle.
yeah, because then I'm trying to solve a problem that I may not have. And if I do have, there's probably a course of action that I could be taking rather than just, yeah, if too much vitamin D is bad for me, then I don't want to get caught. You know what I mean? It's just so much. It just feels it's another one of those diet culture things that when you don't know and you don't start with some of the fundamentals, like some of the easier, hey, I don't know, maybe get my yearly physical done. It's just, I'm like, as simple as that is, sometimes I'll just point at me because I'm the only person whose experience I can talk about, might start looking for solutions, which might lead me into the great wide web. And it's all of a sudden it says, oh, you're not taking spirulina? You're not eating 700 pounds of spirulina a day? What's wrong with you, Matt? I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me.
I get the appeal, right? It feels like a quick nutrition win, right? Like it feels like something you can do now and do immediately. So it's easy to do. It's easy access, right? To something that could potentially help you. But something else I see a lot of times is that people think that with supplements, they think they're natural, right? And so just because something is natural, though, doesn't mean it doesn't have side effects. It doesn't mean it can't have negative consequences if you're not using them properly, right? And so that's why I was saying it's so important to understand why you're taking what you're taking. Go to your doctor or your dietitian, have them look over your regimen and making sure that you actually need those things. Because we were talking about vitamin D. Those are fat soluble vitamins, meaning our body is able to store them in fat. And so because of that, there is a toxicity level compared to other nutrients that we just pee out, basically, if we take too much of it. So that's where the nuance in these conversations need to be. And just because you see an influencer or someone in your life taking them, like a surefire bet is almost that they don't taking it. They're just taking it because they think it's good for them, not because they actually have any evidence or good indication to start using it. I hope you're enjoying this conversation, and if this is really resonating with you, I have 6 nutrition habits for sustainable weight loss in 2026. This is top 6 tips that I work my clients through. It is a great foundation and a place to start if you feel all over the place. It's something you can come back to consistently to know that, yes, I'm on the path, and can just give you a level of clarity when you feel like you need it. So if that's something you're interested in, click the link below and I'll get it to you.
Yeah, that completely tracks because it's just, I've definitely had now I'm working out. So everybody says I need to be taking a good multivitamin when I don't really have a baseline on what, if there's any vitamin deficiency or anything, but it's just, you're working out now. So you've got to be deficient in something. It's just good for you.
Yeah, it's just good for you. That's a good thing, right? Like that is the thought process behind it. Oh, I need to do this just because it's good for me, right? Which, yeah, sure, that can be true, but I always tell people food first. Like with multivitamins, let's try to get most, if not all of your nutrients from food and then fill in the gaps. That's not to say multivitamin is bad. It's like you probably just pee out the extra, like I was saying. So it makes your pee expensive, right? So you can always go for food first. And honestly, like you'll get more benefit from that because food doesn't have just one nutrient in it like supplements do. They have a multitude of nutrients in them. At the end of the day, we need to eat. We need to learn how to eat, right? We can't out supplement a bad diet, just like we can't out exercise a bad.
I think that's an unlock right there. That, as the kids would say, that's a bar, right? Like that makes so much more sense put that way. Whereas I can't out supplement bad eating habits and I can't out work out bad eating habits. It's just, if all I'm having is food that isn't the best for me or specific types of unhealthy, like I'm eating a stick of butter a day and expecting I'm going to be doing great. It's probably not in the holistic sense.
Yeah. We still have to address food. We still have to address our eating pattern as a whole. It's like supplements can only take you so far. And even then, it's like very marginal benefit, right? It's like we think about it as like a pyramid. Supplements would be at the very top of that pyramid as far as priority. The foundation of that pyramid is your food, the composition of your meals, your eating habits as a whole, and how consistent you are with those things, right? Supplements can maybe help you 1% to 2%. And again, depending on if you are actually deficient in things, it can make a big difference. But for the general person who doesn't have deficiencies, that's not where you're going to have the biggest wins, right? It feels like a quick win, but it's not actually going to help move you forward and actually feeling better sustainably.
Yeah. No, that makes all the sense in the world, because it's like you're trying to solve the root problem from the top, from that top of that pyramid. So you know what's gonna, for my terrible example, fix this bar of butter I'm eating a day. Little vitamin. just that's certainly gonna just cover everything else up, and I'm just gonna be fine.
Think about it holistically, right? It's like, do we have our foundation set as far as lifestyle is concerned? And if we do, then okay, maybe it's time to look at supplements. But if we don't, it's like that's where we need to look first. And nutrition is no different, right? It's like the first thing that comes to my mind is like fatigue, right? So people will take a supplement for better sleep or just more energy throughout the day. If someone, I would consider caffeine also a supplement. Taking caffeine during the day, right? But in a lot of cases, and by no means is this always, right? Like there's always going to be nuance in these situations, but that is oftentimes going to max like what you actually need to be working on, right? So if you're taking a supplement to try and have better sleep, but you're not addressing your stress at the same time, like that supplement's not going to do anything for you. Or if you're not addressing your sleep hygiene, that supplement's not going to do anything for you. So we can have both, but we have to address the biggest roadblocks first.
And then by doing that, if there is the need to supplement later, it's because we know
Yes.
we did the hard work, but we did the work that really is the most beneficial, the most helpful up front, rather than, yeah, I'm taking a vitamin and acting like I did something when I'm still, again, just down in bars of butter. What am I doing over here?
Like, I'm glad you're being health conscious. Like, one step is better than no step. But still, yeah, it's like we have to think about it holistically. And your diet plays a huge role in that. And we have to address like I said, those bigger roadblocks before moving on to supplements. And like you were saying earlier, with knowing how, if and how a supplement is even effective for you, we have to get rid of as many variables that could be influencing your symptoms at baseline. So that means addressing your nutrition and trying to see if that helps with maybe the fatigue you're feeling, the cravings, like all these kinds of things, right? And if it doesn't, it's okay. Now we have that data. Now maybe it's time we can supplement. And then once you do start that supplement, on top of having the foundation you built for yourself, you're going to be able to better gauge if that supplement is actually.
Then it's just like, we have a new baseline. We've made changes that were more dietary, which were more about the nutrients that I was taking in. And we took a look at it a little more holistically. Okay, the food that I was eating wasn't helping me with the amount of energy that I actually needed in a day. Like I needed to add more protein to a meal, or I needed to actually add carbs to a meal because I needed them. And then all of a sudden it's, yeah, we got that. And then, oh, I went to bed earlier. And it's like those two together actually solve the problem.
So that's how I think about supplements. Like, by all means, I recommend them to my clients. I use them myself. There are some that I think most people should be taking, but I just see now is this huge list of supplements that people are taking. And I'm like, we can get rid of most of that. Like when people come and work with me, that's one of the first things I look at. Okay, supplements are you on, and which ones can I get you on? Because one, they're expensive. So if you don't need them, why for them, right? If there's something that we can address with diet, let's do that. And then if there's something I think that you need to stay on, we'll do that too.
That completely makes sense. I love it. All right. Now I know. I don't know if we've ever had the supplement conversation before, but I'm glad we're having it here now, because it makes a lot. It honestly reduces a lot of stress for me, because I think adding another medication or another pill or another juice drink or whatever that is, it's like, now this is another thing that's every day, whereas instead of, let's focus on the real thing that would make the most difference every day, which is my diet and what I'm eating. And any more insights on vitamins that you wanted to share, or supplements that you wanted to share?
Yeah, I did want to talk about the ones that I do recommend.
Oh, great.
For most people that, generally don't have any diagnosed health conditions. They're generally healthy. These are ones that I recommend for most people and ones that I use myself. So the first one is going to be vitamin D, this comes with a caveat, a little asterisk, right? It means like you need to go get your levels tested because most people are deficient. And depending on what your lab work comes back as, that's how we make the recommendation for the dose for vitamin D. But most people are deficient because we're all indoors, just not outside as much. So that's one I would look into and ask your doctor about. Not to say go out and buy vitamin D today. Please don't do that. But go and talk to your doctor about getting that tested. The second one that I do think most people would benefit from taking is a fish oil or like an omega-3 supplement. This is one that I take and Patrick takes because most people aren't incorporating omega-3 fatty acids into their regular diet. That is one that I struggle to get in my diet because I don't eat a lot of fish as it is. So that's one I feel like I could supplement, and most people could have benefits with supplementing with that if you're not eating a lot of, let's say, like fatted fish, for example, in your weekly diet. If that's something you want to add in, then do it food first. If not, taking a fish oil supplement is not going to hurt either. And then these other two are, I guess, asterisks. Again, the first one's going to be fiber. I get asked about this one a lot. And honestly, with fiber, it depends. It depends. I always take food first with fiber because there's different types of fiber, right? We want variety of fiber. So our gut is going to be the happiest when we're giving it a variety of types of fibers because it's going to increase the diversity of our gut bacteria. So if you take only a fiber supplement, that's only giving you one type of fiber. Typically, it's going to be a viscous fiber, so like a psyllium husk or something like that, when we want to be hitting the other boxes as far as fiber is concerned too. So I always try to push food first with this one, but the caveat is when you're traveling. So I like fiber supplements for travel just because your eating is going to be probably a little bit more irregular. Also, travel in general causes a little bit of stress and you can get constipated. So having a fiber supplement on you can help. I actually talk to my clients about making a little like travel first aid kit basically. And it's going to have a fiber supplements, having some like electrolytes in there and all that good stuff. But that's how I feel about fiber because I get asked about that one a lot. Like food first for sure. But if you're traveling or you're going to be in a situation where you're going to have low fiber food and you don't want to be like backed up and feeling uncomfortable, having one of those on you can be a helpful thing. And then the last one with an asterisk is going to be a multivitamin. I don't think most people would be harmed by a multivitamin. Most of the vitamins and minerals in those are water soluble, so you will pee them out if you take it in excess, which is a good thing. But if you're someone that just wants to top off your nutrients, I don't see that as a bad thing. But again, it's like food first. We don't want to be relying on the multivitamin to be giving us all of our nutrients. So those are the 4 that I generally recommend most often.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, if you go in, it's kind of like the mindset is food first, taking a look at our plate, what are we putting on the plate? And then these are ways that we can help ourselves. I like that you're like saying with vitamin D, because I didn't know that could cause any problems. I just didn't.
Another point I will make about supplements that I always tell anyone who asks me is to make sure that they're third-party tested. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen influencers or people online, they come out with their own supplement brand because it's like an easy next step for them to make money right off their audience. And a lot of times they aren't third-party tested. So supplements are not regulated by the FDA. Basically, if someone gets harmed by a supplement, the FDA doesn't get involved until after the harm happens. So I would tell people to make sure their supplements are third-party tested. A brand that I really like is Nature Made. They are an affordable brand, but they have something called the USP seal on the front of it. And that means that all of their supplements are third-party tested. And if they make any claims on the front of their bottles, it has been tested so that they can actually make those claims, because it would be illegal for them to do so otherwise. So those are just some caveats, because it's definitely been documented that supplement companies have made products that they can basically put an ingredients list on the label and none of those ingredients actually be in the product. If it's not third party tested, that's not illegal, which is crazy. So I just tell people, like, move with caution with that.
How is that not illegal? Wow. Okay. That's wild.
I know.
Holy. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Man. Okay.
So just be careful with where you're buying them, right?
Is there anything else around vitamins that you're kind of, when people start talking to you about them, or like the person who's out there? I think we've already answered the question, but maybe we can answer it for them in a different way. Whereas I'm already taking 23 or 24 vitamins. I've got all my bottles lined up and I've got everything. Talk to me for a minute, if you would.
Yeah, if you've been doing that regimen for a while and it's not harming you, use them up, that's fine. But afterwards, it's like I would maybe reevaluate like which ones you're using based off what we talked about today. Message me. I'm happy to have a conversation about that, which ones you're using, which ones you shouldn't be using. Like those are conversations for your dietitian and your doctor. These are, like I said earlier, just because something's natural doesn't mean it's not harmful or it can't be harmful. It absolutely can. Your medical team in the loop with these conversations is always good too. And honestly, this is also a trend I've seen in like the wellness sphere that is popping up a lot, is if you start to work with someone and they're recommending a ton of supplements, but they're not talking to you about your food, red flag. You should question that. And like I said earlier, we cannot out supplement a bad diet. We can't out supplement lifestyle stuff. Like we have to address the foundations first if you truly want to see the benefit that you're hoping to get out of the supplements, unless there's like a very specific scenario where you actually need it.